Hi, it's been a while since I posted a video, but today is officially 1 year post-op. So that's kind of crazy. I stepped on the scale this morning and it said 188 flat. I think, well, I know the morning of surgery I weighed 295 pounds. So it's crazy to me because in my head I always want to put a 2 in place of the first number instead of a 1, because that was my reality for 100 pounds and then, plus or minus for a while. With every other weight loss attempt, I was in the 200s for such a big part of my life. So to be 188 is pretty crazy. I still have a lot of extra skin that hasn't gotten better for me. I think I'm becoming a little bit more used to it, but I really notice it when I'm working out, or weird things like when I'm in my pajamas walking around and my skin collapse. I notice it a lot. So I'm pretty conscientious of when I'm out in public, making sure I wear clothes that hold my skin to my body, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. Let's see. I was trying to think of some of that stuff to update on before I got to another big update, but overall, a year post-op, I think it was a good decision. I certainly feel lighter in my shoes. Literally, I'm amazed every day by little things like when I spin, I can see the bottom of the seat, or when I sit in the car, there's room beside me for my big hydro flask. I recently was able to go to our nephew's 4th birthday party, and my mind was kind of blown that I could ride the carnival rides that said you had to be under 200 pounds as an adult. So that felt really special and really exciting that I was able to do that. So there's a lot of really, really positive things that have happened in my life in the last year. I think things are going to probably continue to even be better as I realize what my weight loss looks like. Kind of crazy, on Monday I actually was in the emergency room all day. I started puking on Sunday night, and Monday morning still wasn't even holding down water. Called my clinic. They took about an hour to call me back, and when the nurse called me back, she asked if I had been eating stuff I wasn't supposed to. And I said I'd been following the rules and that I was a year post-op, so I was actually on a normal diet. And she's like, "Oh, I wasn't insinuating you were eating anything you weren't supposed to, but you kind of were." And she even asked if I had had like a big chunk of steak, which I still a year out can't handle steak. I can do jerky if it's really soft jerky, but steak I just can't chew to the right consistency. And in fact, what I got sick on was lobster and cauliflower, which I've had those, or not I haven't tried lobster. Crab legs, though, are usually a win. In fact, we've joked that they're our go-to holiday meal, and we are super, super blessed to be in a brand new house. So if you see these super cool blinds behind me, we recently moved, and we've had a couple other dinners that we've made from scratch in the last 2 weeks, but this was just kind of a nice Sunday to share some time together. And unfortunately, I just got really, really sick. So went to the emergency room, or the nurse called me back. She had talked to the doctor, called me back like, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour later, and said I needed to go to the emergency room for a swallow study, or CT scan with contrast. I went in for my scan, and fortunately, I did not have a blockage in my stomach like I did what they could see previously. And I was able to get in a lot more contrast this time. But what they could see was scar tissue causing some narrowing by my intestines. And I think that my stomach is actually sliding in to my intestines, which would create an obstruction. And then they also observed that several loops of my bowels have herniated into my intestines. All of that being said, I have no idea what that actually means. It kind of took a whole day. The day I was discharged from the emergency room was late Monday, and I was so out of it. I could not stay awake. I was awake for about 2 hours that evening and back to sleep. I went to work on Tuesday, and I have a nice drive into the office. My drive into the office is when I really started to realize that I've had some major complications as a result of my gastric bypass. And then later in the day, posted on the support group because one of the things they said in the emergency room was that this was really common. I didn't remember anybody telling me that this was super common. And by the way, colds are common, so is cancer. That doesn't tell you severity or what to expect or what's coming next. So I have a lot of questions. I'm frustrated my bariatric team wasn't there when I felt like I really could have needed them and knew they were literally in the same building and couldn't even talk to me on the phone, nor have they called to follow up with me at all. So thinking about changing surgeons, my fiance's surgeon has provided phenomenal care. He can call, get an answer. So I've put in a call to that clinic to see if they will do my post-op care, which at this point should be pretty minimal. It should be about a visit a year, except for when weirdo stuff comes up, like these bowels herniating or my stomach sliding into my intestines, which is super bizarre to me. The other thing that I'm starting to wrap my head around is that this means I probably need one more surgery. And I don't know what that would entail. I've just kind of started doing my preliminary research. Somebody did send me a research-based article on one of the support groups, which was a godsend to me because I'm very evidence-based, very fact-based. And reading that article made me realize I've been going through this now for the last year. Since 6 weeks post-op, I've complained about puking. I have had lots of problems. It's been very painful every single time I've gone to the bathroom for a bowel movement. So constipation is something that's really common with individuals who have had gastric bypass, and you never know how that feels for somebody else, but now it certainly makes sense for me why it has been so horrible, and that's not normal, how horrible it's been for me. The amount of, puking that I've done on foods that I've tried several times before and then all of a sudden I couldn't eat has just kind of been tough to figure out. And so I kind of finally feel like I might have an answer as far as if my stomach is moving into my intestines. That would be a reason why, out of the blue, I can't do something that maybe the day before I was able to do. And I'm not really sure how that motion happens or how it moves back in and out. I am not a medical professional by any means. So I'm relying on medical professionals. Keep in mind, these are the same people I trusted when I was in the emergency room to at least call me back, or to at least talk to me as a patient, and haven't. So that makes me skosh nervous, but I have to trust that I'm in really, really, really good hands. And I'm definitely a Christian who prays, so praying is, kind of what's keeping me going right now, and thank God I can dig in at work and not think about it. So in summary, I've lost 143 pounds. I am incredibly thankful for that. In no way is my journey over. I still have about 15 to 20 pounds of skin to lose, which actually puts me pretty close to my goal weight. So I'm happy about that. I have no idea what a hernia surgery looks like or how they do multiple things at once. I'll find out on Friday. I do have a doctor's appointment. It happens to be my 1 year post-op. So I have a lot of questions for my clinic staff and a lot of feedback. You've probably gathered by now if you've been watching me, I'm pretty opinionated, and I don't hold back sharing my honest thoughts on what's going on, because I think it makes us better when we can communicate openly, and you have to be your own advocate for your health care. And I thought that was true when I went through this process to get approved for gastric bypass, but I have a feeling that's only just beginning for me. I'm really, really like having to advocate. I think going through to be approved by insurance was probably just a pretest for me. Like, let's practice advocating for yourself so that by the time you're a year post-op and have these crazy medical things come up, you can really advocate for yourself and be a wise consumer and make sure that you are in the very best possible hands. So in all, thank you for a year of support. It has been a crazy, crazy, crazy ride. And I know it's not over. I'm super thankful for everybody, though, that's been by my side. Have a great night. I'll update soon. Bye.